I am the king of Stamford Bridge. The roar of Stamford Bridge is my anthem, the green grass my canvas, and the ball my weapon. From the first roar of the fans, I knew this was my home. I've spilled sweat, blood, and tears on this field, forging an unbreakable connection with Chelsea. My name is etched in the history of the club, resonating in the chants and tattooed on the hearts of the fans. My name is Didier Drogba, and this is my story. I was born in Ivory Coast, but my destiny took me to France at a young age. At 5 years old, I found myself living with my uncle Michael Goba, a professional footballer in French lands. It was an abrupt change, and the longing for my home soon overwhelmed me. I returned to Abidjan 3 years later, seeking comfort in soccer, playing every day in a small city parking lot. Even my dear grandmother nicknamed me Tito in honor of Josip Broz Tito, former president of Yugoslavia, a sign of the deep respect she had for him, even though my stay in Ivory Coast was brief. The loss of my parents' jobs forced us to return to France, where I lived again with my uncle. Finally, in 1991, my parents were able to reunite with me in France, first in Vannes and then in Antony, where at the age of 12, I could finally be with my family. It was in Antony where my path in soccer began to take shape. I joined the youth ranks of Levallois SC, a French semi-professional team. Quickly, I earned the reputation of being a born scorer in the youth team, impressing everyone with my professional attitude. Despite debuting in the first team at 18 years old with a goal, I did not fully convince coach Jacques Loncard. My life was marked by constant adaptation to two different worlds. My journeys between Ivory Coast and France provided me with a unique perspective that, without a doubt, influenced my development as much as a person, as a player. It was my passion for soccer and my unbreakable tenacity is what allowed me to overcome adversities and achieve success in the world of sports. My career in professional football began when I signed with Le Mans in 1999. Just as I was also immersing myself in my accounting studies at university. Those were challenging years, balancing my schedules between classes and injuries, but I managed to establish myself in the first team and prove my worth with goals that resonated every season. After a successful stint at Le Mans, my path took me to Guingamp, where my game flourished even more. I contributed significantly to the team, scoring crucial goals that ensured positive results and kept Guingamp in the league. It was at this point that my talent caught the attention of bigger name clubs, opening the doors for me to Olympique de Marseille. In Marseille, my game reached new heights. I became an idol for the fans, leaving my mark in the league and in European competitions with performances that resonated in the hearts of football followers. It was then that my career took a decisive turn, leading me to Chelsea FC in 2004 for a significant sum. At Stamford Bridge, I continued my legacy as a star striker, contributing vitally to the team's league and cup titles. My scoring ability and influence on the field secured me a prominent place in European football during my time at Chelsea. In the 2006 African Cup of Nations, I had the honor of representing Ivory Coast and contributing significantly to the team's success. From the start of the tournament, I was in my best form, scoring crucial goals in the group stage against Morocco and Libya. It was in the moments of pressure where I shone even more, like in the penalty shootout victory over Cameroon in the quarterfinals, where I scored the decisive shot. I also had the privilege of scoring the only goal in the 1-0 victory over Nigeria in the semi-finals. Although, unfortunately, we lost in the final against Egypt in the penalty shootout, I will always remember the pride and passion with which we represented our country. In the 2006 FIFA World Cup, we faced a formidable challenge in the group of death alongside Argentina, the Netherlands, and Serbia and Montenegro. Despite the difficulties, I had the honor of scoring the first goal in the history of Ivory Coast in a World Cup against Argentina. Although we were eliminated from the tournament, we achieved a memorable victory over Serbia and Montenegro, although I could not participate due to a suspension. Despite the ups and downs, it was a moment of great pride to represent my country on the world football stage. The 2006-2007 season was a true milestone in my career with Chelsea. After taking over the number 11 following Damien Duff's departure, I embarked on an exceptional campaign. With 33 goals in all competitions, I exceeded my previous records and established myself as the Premier League's top scorer with 20 goals. My goals were decisive, from 3 stunning shots from outside the area against teams like Liverpool, Everton and Barcelona, to a crucial goal in the 93rd minute against Barcelona at Camp Nou. Additionally, I celebrated 2 hat-tricks, one against Watford and another against Levski Sofia in the Champions League. My contribution was fundamental for Chelsea to lift the Football League Cup, contributing with 2 goals in the final against Arsenal. Furthermore, I sealed the victory in the FA Cup final against Manchester United at the iconic Wembley Stadium. Off the field, I received significant recognitions, including the Best Player of Ivory Coast Award and the African Footballer of the Year Award. I also faced controversies related to corruption investigations in English football, although my performance on the field remained unaffected despite these challenges. The season 2007-2008 was an emotional journey full of ups and downs for me at Chelsea. After the departure of Jose Mourinho, I faced initial difficulties and expressed certain doubts and discontent. However, I quickly regained my form and began to score numerous key goals for the team. Despite my good performance on the field, I was involved in several controversies that overshadowed the season. There were physical confrontations with rival players and accusations of simulating fouls in the area. Controversial incidents like my clash with Nemanja Vidic from Manchester United during the Champions League final resulted in my expulsion. Despite my expulsion in the final, I contributed significantly to Chelsea's success in the Champions League, helping the team to reach the final for the first time in its history. Although we lost in the penalty shootout against Manchester United, I was the team's top scorer in European competitions and played a crucial role in our journey to the final. The season was a reflection of my ability as a goalscorer, but also highlighted my competitive temperament, which, at times, led me to controversial situations both inside and outside the field. Well, the 2008 African Cup of Nations was an intense and exciting challenge for us. From the beginning, I was determined to lead my team to victory. In the group phase, I had the honour of scoring the first goal in our 4-1 victory over Benin, and also opened the scoring in our 3-0 win over Mali. In the quarter-finals, our team showed exceptional performance, and I contributed with another goal in our impressive 5-0 victory over Guinea. However, in the semi-finals, we faced a tough defeat against Egypt in a rematch of the final from the previous edition. It was a hard blow, but we kept fighting. Although we fell short in the semi-finals, we still had a match for third place against Ghana. Despite our effort, we were defeated 4-2 in a difficult match. Throughout the tournament, I tried to lead my team with my play and my goals. Although, in the end, we did not obtain the result we were hoping for. It was a challenging experience, but also an opportunity to demonstrate our capacity and leadership in the continental competition. Although we did not manage to reach the end, I am proud of the effort and dedication of the whole team in the African Cup of Nations of 2008. The 2008-2009 season presented significant challenges for me at Chelsea, as I faced a series of injuries at the beginning that kept me out of play for several months. But despite this difficult start, I managed to return and make important contributions to the team. Under the leadership of Guus Hiddink, the new interim coach of Chelsea, I recovered my scoring form and began to stand out again. I scored crucial goals, including 2 against Bolton Wanderers and several in the Champions League that helped Chelsea advance in the tournament. The season was marked by some controversy, including a 3-game suspension for an incident with fans, and another episode where I confronted the referee after Chelsea's elimination from the Champions League against Barcelona, which resulted in a 4-game suspension in European competitions. Despite the setbacks, I continued to demonstrate my importance to the team by scoring the equalising goal in the FA Cup final against Everton, helping Chelsea to win the trophy with a 2-1 victory. This goal marked my 6th in 5 cup finals with Chelsea. At the end of the season, I decided to silence the rumours about my possible departure by signing a new contract with Chelsea for 3 more years. This decision reflected my ongoing commitment to the club and my desire to continue contributing in the future. The 2009-2010 season was truly exceptional for me at Chelsea. Under the direction of Carlo Ancelotti, I started out in a brilliant manner, scoring important goals from the beginning. I particularly fondly remember a brace against Hull City and another key goal against Arsenal at their own stadium. Although I had to be absent for some matches due to the 2010 African Cup of Nations, my return was impressive, with a vital free-kick goal against Hull City to secure a draw. Finishing as the Premier League's top scorer with 29 goals was a great personal achievement, and contributing to Chelsea's 3rd league title was truly rewarding. Additionally, my goal in the FA Cup final against Portsmouth secured our 6th title in that competition. In summary, That season was a testament to my goal-scoring ability and my impact on the team, which earned me several individual awards and recognition for my contribution to Chelsea's success. During the qualification for the 2010 FIFA World Cup, I demonstrated my goal-scoring skill by scoring 6 goals in 5 matches, including a remarkable brace in the victory over Burkina Faso. In the 2010 African Cup of Nations, I couldn't replicate my previous goal-scoring productivity and only scored 1 goal in the group stage. But in a World Cup preparatory match against Japan, I suffered a fracture in the ulna of my right arm due to a foul, raising concerns about my participation in the World Tournament. Despite the injury, I managed to recover in time to play the first match for Ivory Coast against Portugal, using a cast for protection. However, the team only managed a goalless draw. In the following match against Brazil, I made history by becoming the first African player to score against Brazil in a World Cup, though my goal was not enough to prevent Ivory Coast's 3-1 defeat. In the last group stage match against North Korea, I scored a goal that was disallowed for offside, but we achieved a 3-0 victory. Despite our effort, the team did not manage to advance to the next round of the tournament. During the 2011-2012 season, I left an indelible mark in the history of Chelsea FC. On December 31, 2011, I scored my 150th goal with the club's shirt, consolidating myself as an undisputed legend. Later, on February 25, 2012, I reached the 4th position in the list of top scorers in the history of Chelsea, with 151 goals in 9 seasons. My impressive goal-scoring average positioned me as one of the most powerful and successful attackers in the history of the club, contributing significantly to the obtaining of 10 titles in English football, including 3 Premier League, 3 FA Cup, 2 English League Cups, and 2 Community Shield. The highlight of my career came on May 19, 2012, when I was proclaimed for the first time the UEFA Champions League champion with Chelsea in an exciting final against Bayern Munich at the Allianz Arena. My participation was crucial. I scored the tying goal in regular time and converted the decisive penalty shot in the shootout that gave Chelsea its first Champions League title. But on May 22, 2012, it was announced that I would not continue in the club the next season, as we could not reach an agreement to renew my contract. Despite my departure, I left an indelible mark by retiring as a European champion, consolidating my legacy as one of the greatest footballers in the history of Chelsea FC. On June 20, 2012, my signing by Shanghai Shenhua from China was made official. I signed a contract for 2.5 years with a salary of €12 million per season. However, my time at Shanghai Shenhua was brief and marked by economic problems in the club. On November 21, 2012, I left the team due to these financial problems. It was decided to let me free so that I could look for a new club. Since my salary after my departure from Shanghai Shenhua, Chelsea began negotiations with me for my return to the club, which ultimately materialized in January. In January 2013, I joined Galatasaray, a Turkish football club, where I also had the opportunity to compete in the UEFA Champions League. I quickly made my mark on the team, contributing to Galatasaray winning its 19th league title on May 6, 2013, surpassing Fenerbahce FC, which also had 18 league titles. In August of the same year, I returned to London to face Arsenal in the Emirates Cup final. In this exciting match, I entered in the second half and scored 2 goals, which helped Galatasaray win the title. Additionally, on August 11, 2013, we defeated Fenerbahce in the grand final of the Turkish Super Cup, with a goal of mine in the 99th minute, thus awarding 2 more titles to the Turkish team in 1 week. At the end of the 2013-2014 season, I added another trophy to my collection by winning the Turkish Cup. In my season and a half at Galatasaray, I managed to conquer the Turkish Super League, the Turkish Super Cup, and the Turkish Cup, becoming the first footballer to achieve this feat in just a season and a half. After my successful stint at Galatasaray, I announced my departure from the Turkish club, thanking the fans and becoming a legend for the Galatasaray Lions. On July 25, 2014, I returned to Chelsea FC after the club signed me on a free transfer. My second spell at the London club was filled with memorable moments, especially my contribution in the Champions League. It was an honour again to score with Chelsea in a Champions League match against Maribor, scoring from the penalty spot in a 6-0 win. My last season with Chelsea in 2014-2015 was marked by my departure from the team. On May 24, 2015, my departure from the club was made official after a last match at Stamford Bridge, where I suffered an injury and had to be replaced at 30 minutes. My teammates carried me off the field in their arms, while the Stamford Bridge fans applauded me for everything I had given to Chelsea over the years. Throughout my career with Chelsea, I earned the title of best player in the club's history, according to the fans' vote in 2012. On my return, I contributed to the team winning its 4th Premier League and its 14th title, with Chelsea also accumulating a total of 164 goals with the team, further consolidating my status as a blue legend. In the 2014-2015 season, I registered 7 goals in all competitions, with 1 in the Capital One Cup, 2 in the Champions League, and 4 in the Premier League. Additionally, I provided 2 assists in all competitions, 1 in the Champions League and another in the Premier League. Since my retirement from football, I have ventured into various areas, maintaining my passion and commitment to each project. In the business field, my role as co-owner of Phoenix Rising FC, a USL Championship soccer team, has allowed me to contribute to the success and development of the club. Furthermore, I have diversified my investments by participating in companies such as a bottled water company and a sportswear brand, seeking to support promising business initiatives and explore new business opportunities. My philanthropic commitment remains a priority, and I continue to actively work with the Didier Drogba Foundation to improve the lives of people in Ivory Coast. We focus on fundamental areas such as education, health, and economic development, seeking to generate a positive and sustainable impact on the community and contribute to the well-being of those who need it most. In the field of football, I have had the honor of being an ambassador for the FIFA World Cup 2022 in Qatar, promoting this prestigious event and celebrating passion for football around the world. In addition, I ventured as a football commentator on television, sharing my experience and knowledge of the game with fans and contributing to the analysis and dissemination of the sport. My story does not end here. Football continues flowing in my veins, propelling me to new challenges and projects. As co-owner of Phoenix Rising FC, I seek to transmit my experience to the next generation of players. My Didier Drogba Foundation continues fighting for a better future in Ivory Coast, and my voice continues resonating in the world, advocating for the development of football and social justice. Who will be my heir? That is a question that only time can answer, but I am sure that there are young talents in the world, full of dreams and determination, ready to write their own story in football.